The alarm blared through the halls of the Earth Alliance ship Dauntless *. Captain Liam Collins rushed to the bridge, his boots echoing on the metal floor. The red emergency lights cast strange shadows as he moved. "Report," he ordered as the door slid open. Lieutenant Olivia Grant turned from her console. "Sir, we've detected a distress signal." "It's not one of ours." Liam raised an eyebrow. They were at the edge of explored space. No human ships should be out this far, and they had never encountered other spacefaring races before. "Play it," he said. Static filled the bridge, followed by a series of sounds unlike anything Liam had ever heard. It was musical yet structured, rising and falling in patterns that seemed almost mathematical. "That's not a human language," said Olivia, stating the obvious. Liam tapped his fingers on the armrest of his chair. "Can we locate the source?" "Already done, sir. It's coming from a ship about 50,000 kilometers from our position." "Set a course. Alert medical to prepare for possible casualties." The Dauntless changed direction smoothly, its engines humming as it accelerated toward the unknown signal. Liam felt a mix of excitement and worry. First contact. It was what every space explorer dreamed of, but also feared. When they reached the source of the signal, everyone on the bridge fell silent. Floating in the darkness was a ship unlike any they had seen before. It was shaped like a giant leaf, with a surface that seemed to shimmer with an inner light. Parts of it were damaged, with what looked like burn marks across one side. "No signs of weapons fire," reported Security Chief Rick Mason. "Looks like some kind of engine malfunction." "Any life signs?" asked Liam. "Yes, sir. Several. But they're different from human readings." Liam stood up. "I'll lead the rescue team. Rick, you're with me. Olivia, you have the bridge." They boarded the alien ship through an airlock that took their engineers only minutes to figure out. The inside was even stranger than the outside, with corridors that curved in organic patterns and lights that seemed to grow from the walls themselves. They found the aliens in what appeared to be the control room. There were 5 of them, tall and slender with skin that glowed faintly blue. They had 4 arms, each in large, almond-shaped eyes that blinked sideways. One of the aliens stepped forward. It wore a complex device around its neck. When it spoke, the device glowed, and to everyone's surprise, English words came out. "You are humans?" it asked. Liam nodded slowly. "I am Captain Liam Collins of the Earth Alliance, ship Dauntless *. We received your distress signal." The alien bowed slightly. "I am Seelan, ambassador of the Veldari Confederation. Our propulsion system failed during dimensional translation. We are grateful for your assistance." "You speak our language," said Rick, his hand never far from his weapon. "My translator analyzes speech patterns and adapts. It is standard technology among Galactic Assembly members." Seelan tilted its head. "We did not expect to find humans this far in space. Your species was not thought to have achieved interstellar capability yet, given your limitations." Liam frowned. "Limitations? Your biology. It is inefficient compared to most spacefaring species." Seelan gestured around. "Yet here you are." The Veldari ship was repaired enough to travel with the help of the Dauntless crew. As they worked, Seelan explained that the Galactic Assembly consisted of 27 different intelligent species that had achieved space travel. "Your Earth is invited to send representatives to the Assembly," said Seelan. "It would be educational for all involved." Back on Earth, the news of first contact caused global excitement. The Earth Alliance quickly selected their representatives. Captain Collins would go, commanding the Dauntless for the journey. And to handle the complexities of alien diplomacy, they chose Kate Winters, one of their best diplomatic relations specialists. As the Dauntless prepared to leave Earth orbit with its new mission, Kate stood on the observation deck, watching her home planet grow smaller. "Nervous?" asked Liam, joining her by the window. "A little," she admitted. Seelan mentioned limitations several times. I wonder what we're really getting into. Liam nodded. Whatever it is, we'll face it together. That's what humans do. The stars stretched into lines as the dauntless asterisk entered jump space, carrying humanity toward its place among the stars. The Galactic Assembly Station appeared in the view screen, and Kate Winters gasped. It was enormous, a spinning wheel of metal and light, at least 50 times larger than Earth's biggest space station. Hundreds of ships of different designs moved around it like fish in a pond. "It's incredible," she whispered. Captain Liam Collins nodded beside her. "And intimidating." The dauntless asterisk approached slowly, following the path given by their Veldari guide ship. As they neared the massive station, Kate noticed how small their vessel looked compared to most of the others. Many alien ships were the size of small cities. A voice came through the communication system, speaking perfect English. "Earth vessel dauntless asterisk. Proceed to docking bay 42. Welcome to the assembly." The docking went smoothly. When the airlock opened, Seelan was waiting for them along with 2 other Veldari. "The human delegation is expected at the welcome ceremony in 3 hours," Seelan said. "I will show you to your quarters." As they walked through the station, Kate tried not to stare. Aliens of all shapes and sizes moved through the wide corridors. Some floated instead of walked. Others had multiple limbs or no limbs at all. Some were tiny, barely reaching her knee, while others had to duck under the high ceilings. "There are representatives from all 27 species here," explained Seelan. "Some breathe different air mixtures, so certain sections are sealed off or have special atmospheres." A group of massive, turtle-like aliens with thick, armored skin passed by. They looked at the humans with what seemed like disgust. "Who are they?" asked Liam. "Taurians," said Seelan quietly. "They are not fond of new species joining the assembly, especially physically weaker ones." Kate frowned. Physical strength isn't everything. Seelan's blue skin pulsed slightly. In space, many believe physical durability matters greatly. Your species is fragile by galactic standards. The welcome ceremony was held in a great hall with a circular table. Each species had a section, marked with their name and symbol. The human section was noticeably smaller than most others. An alien that looked like a tall praying mantis stood at the center of the room. "Welcome, representatives of Earth," it said through a translator. "I am Six Fall, head counselor of the assembly. Your presence marks a historic moment, the addition of a 28th species to our coalition." Kate noticed several delegates whispering to each other. The Taurians seemed especially agitated. One of them stood, its voice deep and rumbling. "I object to this hasty inclusion. Humans have barely left their solar system. They have no proven track record of space management. Their physiology is unsuited for long-term space habitation. They require special environments just to survive." Liam stepped forward. "With respect, we have overcome every challenge of space travel through technology and innovation. What we lack physically, we make up for in adaptability." A ripple of what might have been laughter moved through some of the delegates. The Taurian snorted. "Adaptability. All species adapt. But some are simply better suited to space than others. Humans break easily. You cannot breathe vacuum. You cannot survive radiation. You cannot withstand extreme temperatures. You are, by definition, inferior space travelers." Kate moved to speak, but Seelan raised a hand to stop her. "The Taurians speak harshly, but this is a common view," Seelan whispered. "Many here believe that only species with natural advantages should expand into space." Head counselor Zixval tapped a long, thin rod against the floor. "The inclusion of Earth has been approved by majority vote. However, as is tradition, the humans must prove their worthiness through the trials of capability." Kate looked at Liam with concern. "What trials?" Seelan's eyes blinked sideways. "A series of challenges to test if your species has the necessary qualities to join the assembly. Each founding species designed one test. Some are physical, some mental, some technological. When do these trials begin? Asked Liam. Tomorrow, said Zixfall. I suggest you prepare yourselves. Few new species pass all the trials on their first attempt. As they left the hall, Kate noticed the way other aliens looked at them, with curiosity, doubt, and in some cases, what seemed like pity. They think we're going to fail, she said quietly to Liam. Then we'll just have to prove them wrong, he replied. That's another human specialty. Kate Winters studied the list of trials on her tablet and frowned. She, Captain Collins, and the small human team had gathered in their quarters to discuss the challenges ahead. These trials seemed designed for specific alien strengths, said Dr. Alex Reyes, the team's cynobiologist. He was a quiet man with keen eyes that missed nothing. Look at the Taurian trial. It tests resistance to extreme pressure. Their species has natural armor. The Velderi test is about processing complex data quickly, added Kate, and the Meraki challenge involves surviving without food or water for 3 days. Liam paced the room. So each test favors the species that created it. Exactly, said Alex. We're being set up to fail. Kate studied the rules carefully. Wait, it says here that each competing species can propose one additional challenge to be included in the trials. Liam stopped pacing. So we can add our own test? Yes, but it needs approval from the Assembly Council. Engineer Sam Porter, a stocky man with clever hands, looked up from his own tablet. We need something that plays to human strengths, something that shows what makes us different. But what exactly is our advantage? Asked Kate. The Taurians are stronger, the Velderi are smarter, the Meraki can live off sunlight. What do we have that they don't? They fell silent, thinking. Then Alex snapped his fingers. Adaptability, he said. Humans aren't the strongest, fastest, or most durable. But we can adapt to almost any situation better than any species on Earth. Maybe that's true here too. Sam nodded excitedly. We could design a challenge where conditions keep changing. Start with one set of problems, then switch to something completely different. A test of how quickly you can adapt to new circumstances, said Kate, warming to the idea. I'll start designing it right away, said Sam. The next day, Kate presented their proposed challenge to the Assembly Council. The huge chamber was filled with representatives from all 27 species. The Taurian delegates glared at her with their small, deep-set eyes. The human challenge is called the Adaptive Response Test, Kate explained. Participants must solve a series of problems while environmental conditions change rapidly and unexpectedly. Head counselor Zixfall tilted its mantis-like head. This seems unusual. Most challenges test a specific ability. Adaptability is our specific ability, Kate replied. Just as strength is for the Taurians or photosynthesis is for the Meraki. The lead Taurian delegate, Commander Gorax, made a rumbling noise. This is nonsense. They are trying to avoid tests of real capability. Zealand, the Velderi ambassador, spoke up. The rules clearly state that each species may add one challenge. If adaptability is what humans value, we should allow this test. After much debate, the Council approved the human challenge. It would be the final test in the series of trials. As Kate left the chamber, Commander Gorax blocked her path. He towered over her, his armored skin gleaming under the lights. Your little test won't save your species from embarrassment, he growled. Humans don't belong among the stars. You are too weak, too fragile. Kate stood her ground. We'll see who's adaptable and who isn't. Adaptability, he spat the word like it was poison. A fancy term for having no real strengths. My warriors will crush your test just as easily as you will fail ours. After he stomped away, Seelan approached Kate. The Taurians fear what they don't understand. They have relied on their natural armor for millennia. They cannot imagine succeeding any other way. What do you think of our chances? Kate asked. Seelan's skin pulsed with soft blue light. I have been studying human history since our first contact. Your species has survived ice ages, plagues, wars, and massive climate shifts. You went from primitive flight to space travel in less than a century. The alien's eyes blinked sideways. I would not underestimate humans' ability to surprise us all. As Kate returned to their quarters, she wondered if Salem was right. Would human adaptability be enough? The first trial would begin tomorrow, and it was the Taurian pressure test, the very one humans seemed least likely to pass. The Taurian pressure chamber looked more like a torture device than a test facility. It was a metal sphere with thick walls and tiny windows. Inside, gravity and atmospheric pressure could be increased to 10 times that of Earth. No human can survive that without protection, said Dr. Alex Reyes, examining the readouts. Our bones would break. Our organs would be crushed. Captain Liam Collins nodded grimly. That's why we have these. He pointed to the modified space suits their engineers had prepared. Sam's team reinforced them to distribute the pressure evenly. When the humans entered the testing area in their bulky suits, the Taurians laughed. Their own representatives simply wore light clothing, their natural armor more than enough protection. The test began. At first, the pressure increased slowly. The human suits creaked but held. Then it jumped suddenly, much faster than scheduled. Kate heard Sam curse through the comm system. They're changing the parameters, he said. This is higher than what was approved. One of the humans, a young man named Jack, screamed as his suit began to buckle. Liam moved to help him, but in the crushing pressure, every movement was difficult. They'd barely managed to signal for an emergency exit before Jack's suit failed completely. All 6 alien species passed the test easily. Only 3 of the 5 humans made it through, and Jack was sent to the medical bay with broken ribs. They cheated, Kate said angrily as they returned to their quarters. We can't prove it, Liam replied, and complaining will just make us look weaker. The next day brought the Velderi information processing test. Participants were connected to neural interfaces and had to solve complex mathematical and logical problems at increasing speeds. This time, the humans performed better, using their prepared mental techniques, but still came in last. Their brains simply couldn't match the processing power of the Velderi or the hive mind capabilities of the insect-like Centauri. During a break between tests, Kate attended a diplomatic reception. She stood alone, sipping a drink that tasted like sweet mint, when she overheard 2 alien delegates talking nearby. They didn't realize her translator was working. The human problem will resolve itself, said one, a tall, spindly alien with translucent skin. They'll fail most of the tests and be given observer status only. Unless they surprise us, replied the other, a squat creature with multiple eyes. Remember the Noxians. Everyone thought they would fail too. The Noxians had natural toxin immunity. What do humans have? They're slow, weak, and their brains are primitive single processors. Kate slipped away quietly and found Dr. Reyes analyzing data from the first tests. Alex, I need you to research something, she said. I want to know what evolutionary advantages each assembly species has. What makes them special? Alex worked through the night. The next morning, he presented his findings to the human team. It's fascinating, he said, eyes bright with discovery. Every spacefaring species evolved with a specific adaptive advantage. The Taurians have natural armor because their home world has crushing gravity. The Velderi have advanced brains because they needed to track complex seasonal patterns to survive. What about the Meraki? Asked Sam. They can photosynthesize energy because their planet orbits a highly radioactive star. They literally eat sunlight. Kate paced the room. So every species out there has one big advantage that helped them reach space. Exactly, said Alex. And that's why they look down on us. By their standards, humans don't have any special ability. Liam frowned. But that can't be right. We made it to space too. Yes. Alex nodded excitedly. But we did it differently. Instead of having one spectacular ability, Humans are decent at many things and can improve at almost anything through practice and technology. We're not the strongest, but we can build machines to multiply our strength. We're not the smartest, but we can create computers to extend our intelligence. Adaptability, Kate whispered. It's not just a skill. It's our evolutionary advantage. The one thing that makes humans different, agreed Alex. We don't specialize. We adapt. As the next trial approached, Captain Collins gathered the team. We may not win these tests, but we're learning something important. When our challenge comes, we'll show them what humans can really do. The week of trials continued, and the humans struggled. They failed the radiation resistance test designed by the Meraki. They performed poorly in the vacuum survival challenge created by the gas-breathing Hillary. By the 6th day, the human team was tired and discouraged. We've only passed 2 of the tests so far, said Kate, reviewing their scores. And those just barely. The other species are laughing at us, added Sam bitterly. I heard the Zetari delegates making jokes about our primitive biology yesterday. Captain Liam Collins slammed his hand on the table. Enough. Tomorrow is our challenge. Let's focus on that. The adaptive response test was set up in a large chamber in the center of the station. Sam Porter had designed it with help from the entire human team. The room could change its environment rapidly, altering temperature, light, sound, and even gravity. Problems would appear on screens, requiring different types of solutions each time. The test begins with a simple puzzle, Sam explained to the assembled alien participants. But every 60 seconds, conditions will change, and you'll face a new challenge requiring different skills. Commander Gorux of the Taurian snorted. This is not a real test of ability. It's chaos. Adaptation to chaos is a skill, replied Sam calmly. Perhaps the most important one in space exploration. The test began. The first minute was easy. A logic puzzle under normal conditions. All participants solved it quickly. Then the room plunged into darkness, and the temperature dropped. The next challenge appeared, requiring participants to assemble a device by touch alone. The Veldari struggled without their vision. The Taurians' thick fingers fumbled with the small parts. But the humans, used to working in varied conditions, pushed forward. With each minute, the environment shifted. Gravity increased, then decreased. Loud noises blared, making concentration difficult. The air became humid, then dry. The challenges switched from mathematical to physical to creative problem-solving. One by one, alien participants gave up or failed. The Taurians stormed out after the gravity dropped too low for their heavy bodies to maneuver effectively. The Meraki withdrew when the light levels became too dim for their photosynthetic processes. Only Xelan of the Veldari continued alongside the humans, adapting with impressive speed. But even the intelligent Veldari began to struggle as the test reached its final minutes. When it ended, all 5 humans had completed the course. Xelan was the only alien to finish, and even then, just barely. The assembly hall buzzed with shocked conversation as the final scores were tallied. The humans had failed many of the specialized tests, but their performance in the adaptive response test was perfect. When combined, their scores placed them 4th overall, a respectable showing for a new species. Head counselor Zik Spal seemed puzzled. How did your team perform so well in that final test? It seemed chaotic. Dr. Alex Reyes stepped forward to address the assembly. He displayed a series of images on the main screen. Human cities in deserts, jungles, and Arctic regions. Explorers climbing mountains and diving in oceans. Astronauts working in space. Humans evolved on a planet with rapidly changing conditions, Alex explained. Ice ages followed warm periods. Droughts followed floods. To survive, we couldn't rely on one special ability. Instead, we developed the capacity to change. Our behaviors, our tools, even our bodies through training. He showed more images, humans using technology, working in teams, teaching and learning. Other species evolved one great advantage. Taurians have armor. Veldari have advanced brains. Mereki can photosynthesize. These are impressive adaptations, but they're also limitations. If conditions don't favor your specific ability, you struggle. Commander Gorax growled. You call our strengths limitations. Specialization is always a trade-off. Alex continued calmly. Humans aren't the best at anything, but we can be good enough at everything. We adapt. We change. When one approach fails, we try another. Kate watched the alien delegates' reactions. Some seemed thoughtful, others dismissive. The Taurians were openly hostile. Seelan spoke up. I have studied human history since meeting Captain Collins. In a mere few thousand years, they went from simple tools to space travel. They survived disasters that should have made them extinct. Perhaps adaptability is the most powerful trait of all. As the session ended, an alarm suddenly blared throughout the station. Emergency lights flashed red, and a computerized voice announced, "Environmental system failure detected. All species proceed to safety zones immediately." Chaos erupted in the assembly hall. Aliens rushed toward exits, some pushing others aside in their panic. The station's computer continued its warning. Environmental controls malfunctioning. Atmospheric composition changing. Temperature fluctuations detected. Kate felt the air growing thinner. Beside her, a small, amphibian-like alien collapsed, gasping. "We need to help them," she said, kneeling down to check on the creature. Liam nodded and tapped his communicator. "All human personnel, this is Captain Collins. Report to emergency stations. We have a station-wide environmental crisis." The humans gathered quickly. Some aliens had retreated to their ships, while others huddled in sealed chambers designed for their species. Many remained stranded in corridors and public areas, struggling as the air changed and temperature dropped. "The main environmental control center is 5 levels down," said Seelan, who had stayed with the humans. "But the air there will be nearly unbreathable by now." "We have our space suits," said Liam. "We can reach it." Sam studied the station schematics on his tablet. His eyes widened. "Captain, this isn't a malfunction. The system is being deliberately sabotaged. Look at these command patterns. Someone is manually overriding the safety protocols." "Who would do that?" asked Kate. Alex pointed to a security feed showing several Taurians entering a restricted area. "I think we have our answer." Liam's face hardened. "They're trying to eliminate us. Make it look like an accident during a station emergency." "Not just you," said Seelan, skin pulsing with distress. "Many species cannot survive these conditions. The Taurians must believe that removing humans from the assembly is worth sacrificing others." Liam divided the team quickly. "Kate, stay with Tylan and coordinate rescue efforts for affected aliens. Sam, you're with me. We'll head to the control center. Alex, work with the medical team to help those already affected." As they donned their spacesuits, Kate grabbed Liam's arm. "Be careful. The Taurians won't give up easily." "Neither do humans," he replied with a grim smile. The journey to the control center was a nightmare. The gravity fluctuated wildly, one moment crushing them down, the next leaving them floating helplessly. The temperature plummeted, coating surfaces with ice, then rose sharply, creating steam that reduced visibility. "Just like our test," Sam said through the comm system, "but deadlier." They encountered 2 Taurian guards outside the control center. The armored aliens charged, confident in their superior strength. But in the changing conditions, the humans had the advantage. They had trained to fight in variable gravity. The Taurians, used to relying on their weight and strength, couldn't adjust quickly enough. Inside the control center, 3 more Taurians worked at the main console. Commander Gorax stood watching, his armored face twisted with hatred. "Humans," he spat, "always interfering." "Stop this, Gorax," said Liam. "You're killing innocent people. Sacrifices must be made. Humans cannot be allowed to join the assembly. Your adaptability makes you too unpredictable, Too dangerous. While Liam kept Gorux talking, Sam slipped around the side, working his way toward the emergency override. You fear us because we're different, Liam said, because we don't rely on one strength that can be predicted and countered. You are chaos. Gorux roared. Your species will never accept its proper place. You will keep changing, adapting, pushing boundaries that should remain fixed. That's what exploration is about, replied Liam. Finding new boundaries, then moving past them. Gorux noticed Sam too late. The engineer reached the override and slammed his hand down on it. Alarms blared, and the Taurian technician scrambled to regain control, but Sam had locked them out. Restoration sequence initiated, announced the station's computer. Gorux roared with rage and charged Liam, his massive form barreling forward like a tank. Liam stood his ground until the last second, then used the Taurian's momentum against him, stepping aside and directing the commander into a control panel. Circuits sparked and equipment crashed. Throughout the station, the air began to normalize. Gravity stabilized. Temperature returned to safe levels. Emergency teams moved through the corridors, helping injured aliens. In the assembly hall, Kate organized the human medical team to treat the affected species. Many aliens watched in surprise as humans worked tirelessly to save creatures so different from themselves. Ceylon approached Kate as she finished treating a Meraki with oxygen. You could have retreated to your ship, saved yourselves. Kate shook her head. That's not what humans do. 2 days after the sabotage attempt, the Galactic Assembly gathered for an emergency session. The Great Hall was packed with delegates from all 27 species, plus the human representatives. Security had been doubled, with guards at every entrance. Head Counselor Zix Val stood at the center, insect-like limbs moving gracefully as he addressed the crowd. We are here to discuss the actions of the Taurian delegation and the response of the humans during our recent crisis. Commander Gorux and his officers sat in restraints, their armored bodies still imposing despite their captivity. The evidence is clear, continued Zixval, displaying security footage on the main screen. The Taurian delegation deliberately sabotaged the station's environmental systems, endangering countless lives. Gorux rose to his feet, chains rattling. I acted to protect the assembly. Humans are a threat to the established order. They have no special ability, no evolutionary advantage, yet they succeed where specialized species fail. This defies natural law. Murmurs spread through the assembly. Kate noticed that some delegates nodded in agreement. Ceylon stepped forward, skin glowing brightly. I wish to present evidence regarding humans and their capabilities. The Velderi activated a holographic display showing scenes from Earth's history, humans surviving in deserts, jungles, Arctic regions, building cities, recovering from disasters, creating art and technology. After meeting Captain Collins and his crew, I began studying human history. Ceylon explained, what I found was remarkable. Humans have faced extinction-level threats multiple times. Ice ages, plagues, wars, climate shifts. Yet they always recover and grow stronger. Images appeared of human medical advances, space exploration, and scientific breakthroughs. Most species evolve one exceptional ability and rely on it, continued Ceylon. Taurians have armor. My people have advanced brains, but humans evolved something different and perhaps more powerful, the ability to change themselves and their environment. Alex Reyes joined Ceylon, adding his scientific perspective. Human adaptability isn't just behavioral. Our bodies can adapt too. We build stronger muscles when challenged. Our brains form new connections when learning. Even our immune systems learn and remember. The display showed humans working together, teaching each other, using tools to overcome limitations. But our greatest adaptation is social, Kate said, stepping forward. We share knowledge across generations. We form teams where different skills complement each other. We create technology to overcome our biological limits. This is exactly why they're dangerous. Gorux interrupted. They never accept limitations. No, said Captain Collins firmly. We never accept that limitations are permanent. There's a difference. Zixval raised his rod for silence. We must vote on two matters. First, the punishment of the Taurian delegation for their actions. Second, whether Earth will be granted full membership in the Assembly. The voting was done silently, each delegate registering their choice on private screens. When it finished, Zixval announced the results. The Taurian delegation is stripped of their assembly positions and will face justice for endangering the station. Gorux roared in anger, but was led away by guards. As for Earth's membership, Zixval paused, building tension. By a margin of 16-11, with one abstention, Earth is granted full membership in the Galactic Assembly. Cheers erupted from the human section. Kate felt tears in her eyes as she hugged her teammates. As the formal ceremony concluded, many alien delegates approached the humans, curious and respectful where they had once been dismissive. A small jellyfish-like alien floated up to Kate. My species was among those saved by your medical team. We had dismissed humans as fragile and primitive. We were wrong. Similar conversations happened throughout the hall. Even some Taurians, those not involved in the sabotage, grudgingly acknowledged the humans' actions. Liam found Kate watching the stars from a viewport. Earth was not visible from here, countless light years away, but she felt connected to it all the same. Quite a week, he said, joining her, from unknown species to full assembly members. Seelan approached, joined by delegates from several other species. Many of us have been discussing human adaptability. We believe there is much we can learn from each other. As the aliens and humans talked, forging new friendships and alliances, Kate realized they had overcome not just the trials or the sabotage, but something more fundamental, fear of the different. And in doing so, they had shown the galaxy the one thing that truly makes humans unstoppable: the ability to keep changing, growing, and reaching for the stars.